How's it, everybody? Just want to say a happy new year. It is now 2026, and very happy new year here from Rifles, Rods, and Broads. Langosta, looks like you got your celebration cap on.
No, it's the dunce hat.
It's
dunce hat.
Are you in timeout, bro?
I'm on timeout for spending too much money on ammo and guns.
Brian, what did you do to Langosta here?
Nothing much, man. He put that hat on his own volition. So
Right. Yes.
very festive, though.
I feel festive. I feel
You look very festive,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
You look very happy, too.
I feel like my dog does when my daughter's painted his nails and walks around pretty festive. Well, hey, man, Happy New Year, 2026. We got an exciting lineup of game plans for this year.
We are here.
We are operating on year 2 of the podcast. So we're hoping to up the game. We got the plans. We got some new gear to play with.
We do. We've got some traction on some Wheel Gun Wednesdays, man. The stuff that you have been putting out has been blowing up. And Santa was nice to me this year. Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at these specs, man. These are the new Ray-Ban Gen 2 Meta glasses. And Santa brought them to me because he said, hey, JoJo, you got to go fishing more.
That's right.
And you got to record it. So we'll see how they do out in the field.
I think that you may catch more tuna with those because it improves your handsomeness to the tuna. In fact, they may just be jumping on the boat on their own.
I think your IQ went up like by 20 points, too.
Look at that, huh?
You look very, at
We'll
the
see
very
what
least, you look
happens.
freaking nerdy in them. Yeah.
Hey, Meta.
No, you're going to be like a genius. Like, hey, I see that stuff on the top of his head.
So
All he does is touch his temple and getting all this.
we've got some new toys to play around with
We certainly
in 2026. And it looks like Santa was nice to you in 2025.
Lots of
and-
stocking stuffers here. We got a double-bagged sock here to hold all this ammo.
Oh, man.
So part of my game plan for the Wheel Gun Wednesdays
Yeah.
going to be to test some ammo, right? Because eventually I'm going to run out of guns to do Wheel Guns Wednesday, and you know we don't have an endless supply of a gun budget.
I didn't think that was a possibility.
Well, we're almost there. we really are almost there. So here's the thing. We're going to do some testing on ammo that people can get, and then there's going to be some testing of ammo that I'm going to make.
Okay.
So that's talk a little bit more about it, and we'll link up some of the testing videos that we've done so far on the shorts, and we're gonna do a little bit longer format for we kind of dive in a little deeper on some of the loads that we really liked,
Yep.
and we're definitely gonna be doing some more range time together at the range.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's do this. Happy New Year, kids.
Happy New Year. 2026. What a year. And we're going to kick it off with a bang. Literally a bang, 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 bang.
sir.
And what we got here?
What we have here is a maxed out credit card. Well, maybe not that much, but so as part of as talked about before, we're going to be doing some testing to up our Wheel Gun Wednesday episodes to the
Yep.
next level.
Yep.
We do a
People
little-
loving it, man.
little longer episodes. I've been buying little by little loads of various calibers and various bullet weights to do some videos.
I can see that.
So we started off with the 44 Magnum. We've got a few videos out on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the kind of theme is going to be trail gun, against dangerous game animals, right? So North American black bear, brown bear, if you're going to be hunting in the West. Some of you guys may be handgun hunters or want to get into handgun hunting. So there's some appropriate loads for that. The really exciting part, JoJo, is that there's never been more selection of handgun projectile combos for all of the common calibers that we see. So 44 Magnum,
Right.
10 millimeter, 357, even 9 millimeter. There's got loads here for 9 millimeter. I got some 10 millimeter stuff from Hornady, but I do want to just talk about the fact that we are getting some very specific videos, caliber, and I have a little bit of a criteria that I came up with to be partial on how we assess them.
That's important too because, the avid handgun, and that's going to go out there and head to the store and know exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, when I get there, it's like got a wall of ammo, and I'm just like, what the heck am I going to buy? So it's either
and most people at the store don't know what to sell.
And that's very true too, because at many times I just don't get the help that I need. So hopefully what we're able to do and what you're able to do, I'm not going to say we're, because I'm not in this. I'm going to be a listener, but you're able to do is kind of better decide what it is that we need off the shelf, because there's so many choices out there. It's like, oh, what the heck do I grab? And if you end up in that position, what happens is that you buy what's on sale.
Sure.
What's the cheapest ammo?
Yeah.
Or what you think works based off of just a simple, but there's a lot more that goes into it. And right off the bat, so what are your thoughts in regard to, ammo? What do you think is most important? And maybe they're the same.
Yeah.
Is it gun? Is it the ammo? What is it?
Depends for what. Depends. So if you're talking about ammo for personal defense against other human beings,
Yeah.
that's one camp. If you're talking about ammo for backup against dangerous game animals, that's another camp. And there's very specific products for each one.
What's the differentiator between what you just shared?
Penetration.
Penetration.
All about penetration.
That's what she said.
Penetration's important. So what happens to the bullets, right, when they hit, and how deep do you want to go? So if you've got a grizzly bear that's soaked out, like let's give you two scenarios. Right?
Okay.
Two scenarios. One scenario is you're going to go salmon fishing.
Which I plan to do this year.
In the spring in Alaska. Big bears will be there while you're there.
100%.
Okay? Right? So then there are bullets for that. The other scenario is you are going everyday carry. Let's say you've got your 9mm, your 45, 1911, and you're doing everyday carry. So you're going to need a much different bullet than you would need in Alaska versus going to rough part of town.
I'll just interrupt and say that I think that's where the novice gun owner or hunter or outdoorsman, they end up stuck at that fork in the road.
Yes.
And it doesn't end up going as many levels deeper as it needs to be. It's almost as if I got a Glock 20, it's a 10mm, and I've heard all the time that a 10mm should be enough for everything. But if you dive deeper into the realm of, well, that's not necessarily true. Just because you have a Glock 20, a 10mm, or any other brand of gun that shoots a 10mm, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work. And that's where it seems to me like, okay, now you've entered a new world of ammo. And what does ammo mean? And what does the match mean between the gun and the ammo that's loaded in that magazine?
It is a rabbit hole for sure. JoJo, when we're talking about what projectiles to use, it's really going to come down to penetration. So here we've got snake shot. Here we've got Barnes copper bullet. Here we have a Lehigh Defense in a 357 Magnum. And here's a 357 Magnum in a Hydroshock. So if we're talking about bear defense, of these four, really the best one for bear defense, even though it's a smaller caliber, it's going to be this 357 Magnum with the Lehigh Defense bullet.
Why?
Because it doesn't expand. It's made for penetration. And the deeper, the better. That's right. So that's really the crux of it. So for personal defense, you want the bullet to mushroom, and you don't want as much penetration as you would if you're doing a dangerous game deal. Now, this is a little bit of a tricky thing, because these Barnes bullets, they do open up and they penetrate quite a bit, but it's going to be a rose petal. They're going to open up into 4 petals and keep going. So I have some very specific testing that I'm going to put these bullets through, or this load through, and I want to see if my thesis is, if we get 20 inches of penetration, regardless of the caliber, if we can get 20 inches of penetration and have be able to break bone, then the next thing that we want to evaluate is how low can we get the recoil and get 20 inches of penetration.
And that low recoil is important because it's going to improve your accuracy, especially in the moment.
Follow-up shots. So if you're thinking about if you get the bear in the head at close range, you'll probably drop him right away. but that's not 100% the norm. So you got to count on getting multiple shots. That's basically it.
I think I put myself in the moment and I think to myself, how would I react, right? In the mind's game, it's just like bears charging, pull handgun from harness, shoot, bear down, and threat is gone. But the reality is you have no idea and you have no time to think. And this is where practice comes in. And this is where if you engineer every moment of that moment, you're going to want to put yourself in the best position possible. And one of those is going to be follow-up shots, because the likelihood that you're going to take something down in just one shot is not highly likely. And you're going to need to pump in a couple more.
You have to assume that it won't work. And you're going to balance out the size of the gun for the scenario that you're hunting in. So we're talking about now, guys, is really a hunting scenario. So in a hunting scenario, your ammo and your caliber is going to be a direct relationship of where you're going to be, right? Because some people are like, well, I don't want to carry a big 6-inch Smith & Wesson revolver. I don't want to carry a 454 Casull. And look, that's okay. But it depends on the context, right? If you're fishing, I think I've said this in a previous podcast episode, if you're fishing and you're 75 feet from your car and you're fishing on a river in Alaska, it really isn't a big deal to have a chest holster on with a 5 or 6 inch barrel, right? Especially if you know that there's going to be big bears on the river. If you're hunting up on a mountain and you're going to, the likelihood of you running into a bear is low, possible, but low, then you can consider using a 357 Magnum with a Lehigh Defense solid bullet. If you're going to use your 357 snub nose for personal defense as your everyday carry, then you use a Federal Hydroshock, right? 2 different bullets, right? So made for 2 different activities.
And they do 2 very different things.
Yes, this opens up and slows down ASAP. This penetrates. This breaks, crushes bone, goes through fur, hair, whatever, and gets into the vitals.
What makes that penetrate more and stay solid versus the other bullet that pedals?
This is made to stay intact. It's not engineered to be.
Is it the shape, the weight, the consistency?
It's the construction of the copper. This is a solid monolith bullet with the cutouts. They're literally drilled out. Those cutouts are machined out. This is a real thin jacket, copper jacket over lead, and it's made to mushroom. So it's made to lose all of its as much energy as possible with the first inch of penetration.
So I don't know if you answers to this. I know you have a lot of answers, but in regard to just overall penetration, how far is the solid projectile going versus the one that pedals?
Well, most of the handgun ammunition for defense against human beings, the FBI protocol is 3 layers of denim or 4 layers of denim and at least 12, 16 inches of penetration. So this will penetrate much more than that. This will penetrate close to 2 feet.
Wow.
The Lehigh Defense. So again, they're totally different. This hits something hard. It hits bone, and it may not even open. It'll crush. It's that soft. The lead is soft, and the jacket is soft. If you were to hit an animal at an angle not perpendicular to, let's say, the scapula bone, this could slide forward and not even penetrate the scapula.
What about just the overall makeup of the material? So say you have something that is lead in that form, in that shape, versus something that's copper. Is that going to make a difference? But same grain.
Well, bullets that are made to open up, this Hydroshock, it's just very soft. It'll deform. There are some other bullets that came out from Lehigh Defense that are called Controlled Chaos. It's a fragmenting bullet. So it is a copper bullet like this one, but the petals come off. So we don't have that represented here, but that's some of the stuff that I've ordered.
We talked about that last time.
That's
and
right.
I watched some of the videos on that, and that thing is insane.
So that's your ideal, probably the most exciting bullet in the last 20 years that have come out. So I'm very excited to do some test loads.
It's a great example of evolution in ammunition.
For sure.
In terms of people have created a bullet that checks more boxes than just one box.
100%.
And what's that called again?
It is Lehigh Defense Controlled Chaos.
What a name, man. They must have had fun coming up with that one, right?
Well, because
what are you going to call this? I like the word chaos. Oh, let's add control to that.
So this is a 9mm that looks like a hollow point, but it's a hollow point that is made to not open. So it's solid. You're going to get all penetration. Now, the interesting part about the differences between these different cartridges is really the caliber size of the hole. Since this is not going to penetrate, this is not going to open, the hole it's going to make is limited by its diameter, right?
Makes sense.
This uses these grooves. The Lehigh Extreme Defense bullets use these grooves to displace water and make the wound cavity bigger. This is supposed to mushroom and make the wound cavity bigger by becoming larger in diameter, right, than it is now. It's a 357 Magnum. It's going to be much wider. This does not expand, but it uses hydrostatic pressure to destroy more tissue. This opens up into 4 jagged petals and stays intact.
And this little piggy.
And this just pops the skin and irritates the shit out of whatever you shot. Unless you're snaky.
So that snake shot that you busted out, dude, that thing, honestly, it's the first time I've ever seen it, but it's like a little shotgun shell.
It is. So look, when people tell me, hey man, I would rather have a 10 millimeter because I have more ammo. Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's true. However, you have a lot more options for projectiles with revolvers. They don't make snake shot, for example. And in your revolver, you could have 2 or 3 different loads on there, right? So it's just, you have a lot of flexibility, right? So
with a revolver.
I dig that. With a revolver, you have more flexibility.
So in terms of overall bullet and stuff like that, the ones that are made to pedal, at what point when it makes contact with the target, does all of that start? And are there certain rounds or certain bullets or projectiles that have that stuff kind of timed too? I'd imagine
with the first half inch, it starts to open.
Is that the standard for all the ones that pedal and open up within the first half inch? This is going to happen.
It takes maybe 4 inches in, maybe 6, between 4 and 6 inches to fully bloom. Now, this is the funny part. These Hydroshocks, they won't mushroom if they hit bone first. It'll crush. If you hit a hard bone, if you hit the spine or anything hard, that will not open to full mushroom, which would be double the diameter that currently is.
Is it because they're so soft?
Yeah.
So if somebody was going to a gun shop and the only thing that they took away from this was, oh, I don't want something that's so soft that's going to crush at the moment of impact on the bone. Is there a way on the box to tell whether or not something is going to do that versus
all of the lead hollow points will behave like I just said, because those are made for anti-personnel.
So it's more
your
lead.
Body cavity. It's a lead thing. Exactly. The Barnes stuff opens up right away, but this is much harder. So Barnes is really depending on what this part of the ogive is much thinner material so that it can bend backwards. But it's not lead, it's all alloy. And then the shank stays intact. It never opens up. So it'll pedal into 4 pedals and that's it. Now, sometimes, and I have seen this happen, the bullet starts to tumble eventually as it's in the animal. And then it goes backwards and the pedal like literally gets broken off. It doesn't break at impact. It breaks as it starts to tumble. It literally rips off and it gets stuck in the animal.
And that's what I watched from the video that you shared, and you were talking about the controlled chaos. It's almost as if they controlled the breakage of the pedals
100%
to continue to have them continue their momentum.
Yes, right away, immediately.
That's crazy.
If you look at the gel tests, it dumps a lot of the energy in the first 6 inches. By 8 inches, that cavity's enormous.
Have you shot those yourself?
No, but I want to. See, the thing is, that bullet is not a new bullet. That bullet's been around for 15 years. But it's getting into its own, right? Because now copper is a lot more popular, and people want to, some governments.
And it's not just because of California, but some people, they're learning, hey, I want to shoot copper.
I'd rather eat copper than lead. That's a whole different topic that people go sideways on, but the technology and how they're made, it's really cool stuff. So I'm excited. I've ordered it in some rifle ammunition and I ordered it in some pistol calibers. So over the next few weeks here, I'm going to be making some ammo and taking it out to the range and testing it.
So you ordered the bullet and you're going to be making your own ammo.
It's not easy to get that stuff. It's not easy to get that stuff yet. And it's funny. I went over to the gun shop to buy this stuff. And I'm like, hey, have you guys considered buying Lehigh Defense? And they're like, well, we're not so sure it's going to sell. And well, mostly I'm like, well, what about, people want copper bullets? He's like, yeah, they normally buy Barnes. And for me, honestly, I guess it sounds like a criticism, but dude, this ammo is the newest stuff. Like
You're talking about the
controlled chaos, the Lehigh defense, these types of projectiles. This is the future.
Why do you think that is? So what do you think that me as the novice gun guy going into a gun shop, why do you think it is that I'm not buying something that's so sophisticated?
I think that the sales associates at the stores need to be educated on what is currently being offered versus what is the future, right? So look, these Hydra shocks have been since the 80s the leading thing for departments. The Winchester Rangers, formerly known as Black Talons, those have been in police guns since the late 80s, maybe 90s, something like that. So it was because they work, by the way, for personal defense against human beings, for sure, the ammo companies got that right. But they don't work worth a damn on dangerous game animals with heavy fur and that type of gristle and all that type of stuff. That's not what they're made for. They're made for going through a cavity that on most people is only 8 inches thick, right? So this is the world that we're in. Now, the Barnes stuff, again, these Barnes bullets have been around probably 20 years, and you could say that they started to get significant traction maybe 5 years ago, where people are buying the pistol calibers for personal defense.
I'll tell you what. So as I mentioned earlier, if I'm going into a gun shop and I've got a wall of ammo and there's a lot of ammo to buy, I'm looking at the sale price and what's going to be cheaper. But I have to agree. I honestly, when I've gone out shopping for ammo, I haven't necessarily been educated in the process of buying ammo. Not one shop, and obviously I won't name shops, but not one shop has ever said or asked a question. The only question is, like, what do you want? Right?
Yeah, what
especially
do you
here
want?
in California, it's like draw a number. So it's like, hey, next customer. It's never been an experience of somebody helping me and walking me through and asking me questions. The only question that I get is, what do I want? And the moment I get that question, I'm like, oh, what do you have on sale? I get it. There's a lot of people that aren't like that. They know specifically because they go shoot out every weekend or a few times a month. And there's people like me that I'm just loading because I got a gun. I hunt. I want to go out there. I want to have some protection. I really don't know what I want. But if somebody were to better explain and maybe ask a few qualifying questions in regard to, well, what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for home defense? No, I'm not necessarily looking for home defense. I live in a nice neighborhood. Who knows what happened, but likely not home defense. But the main use for my handgun is because I want it by my side when I go hunting for some predator or some type of situation that I want to be prepared for when I walk into. Well, what is it that you're specifically trying to shoot? What are you worried about? Are you worried about a mountain lion? Are you worried about a black bear, a brown bear? Are you going to Alaska? At that point, if somebody had that conversation with me and asked me questions that I want them to ask to better point me in the direction, price. I don't care about price anymore. I care about what the product is that I'm buying and is it going to work for my situation.
Considering that you're buying this realm of ammo, it's for horrible days. This is not plinking ammo, right? This is for horrible days, whether you get attacked by another human being or you're getting attacked by a wild animal.
Yep.
So it really requires a little bit of thought.
There's a purpose behind it.
100%.
And I think if there were more shops out there that were having that conversation and asking those questions, better defining what the purpose is of the ammo, then again, I go back to just having that overall transaction of going into the store and walking out with something. If I had you, Langosta, selling me stuff, you'd make a lot of money off of me, man.
Well, so look, funny you should say that. I think that it's insane how much stores leave on the table from the second and third sale. You already bought a gun.
Yep.
I see people at the local gun store all the time buying their CCW gun, and they walk away without any ammo. They walk away with no ammo.
Yep.
Guys, the is easier than the first sale is the second and the third sale. They've already bought. So, for example, let's say that you came in and you bought a 1911, and I'm going to ask you, what are you going to use it for? I'm going to use it for my CCW. Great. Federal Hydra shocks, Spear Gold Dots, or Rangers are the calibers that the FBI and the local law enforcement probably carry. So no one will ever call into question your ammo selection for your CCW gun under that scenario. Good. Which one do you have? Well, I have this one at these different prices. All of these should be shot through your gun. So don't buy one box. Buy two. Shoot a couple magazines through it. Make sure everything's good. Clean your gun. Lube it. Load up your other ammo and then put it away. So that would be how that conversation would go. Then I would ask you, do you ever carry your gun hiking or while you're hunting or while you're in the outdoors? Yes. Where do you go? I go to California. I'm in the rivers down here. I may be going to Arizona. I may be filling the blank. Great. So consider an outdoor taking another box loaded with a non-expanding bullet. In the California case, you're going to be using non-lead, which would be a Lehigh Defense is a good candidate. If you didn't have copper laws, then definitely use a hard cast bullet, which is lead that doesn't expand. And that would be how that conversation would go. But you would probably walk out of the store with 4 boxes of ammo. You'd out two of each one.
Yep.
Now, if you think about it, if you sell, 100 guns a week and 30% of the people walk out with 2 boxes of ammo at $40 a box, you're selling a lot. You're selling a lot of product. And here's the thing.
But it's not just selling to sell. You are educating people, and they're buying what they need to buy.
The gun doesn't work without ammo.
Exactly.
So you might as well have the right ammo.
Yep.
Right? So you're doing people a favor. It isn't like, I'm just selling them some shit that you need anyway. No, this is what you need.
Yep.
Right? And this is what will keep you out of hot water if you get involved in a personal defense shooting or something like that.
And as somebody that isn't so much into guns as you are, that's what me as that consumer, that's what I need. I need some sense of direction, and I just feel like I have not had that sense of direction. So if you open up my safe, you'd probably look at me like, what the fuck, JoJo? Like, what do you have in here? You got like 20 different types of ammo, and they don't make sense for anything that you need them for.
It's random. I think a lot of people, I think that this is a normal thing. I think that the stores leave a lot of money on the table. Really, they're not doing right by the customers in the sense of, dude, if you have a box of ammo and you never ran it through the gun, how do you know it's going to do the job? How do you know it's going to cycle? All of these things. So I think that those are important things to consider. For me, it's a fascination of what these projectiles and these different loads and these different velocities are going to do. And here's the other thing that I have noticed as I've just started, because see, JoJo, you may not know this about me, but I mostly have not bought ammo. I've probably for the last 15 years, I've made all of the ammo that I carried, that I hunted with, that I even carried in my CCW gun. So testing factory ammo is something I've never done before. So one of the things that I found is that the velocities that are on these boxes, they're not that velocity.
What would cause that?
The barrel length of the test medium. Okay. Some of them don't even
and that's
test them
not on the box. It doesn't
No.
say, hey, this was tested on this gun with this barrel length.
The only one that does that is Buffalo Bore. That's the only one.
Oh, really?
You go on their website, you look up the item number, they'll tell you the guns that they shot it through to get those velocities.
Oh, nice.
They're the only ones that do it. The rest of them just have it. So that I'm aware of. If I'm wrong about that and you guys have something to the contrary, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. But I found this 44 Magnum. This is the latest one that we tested from Underwood, 160 grain bullet. This is called their Hunter series, which has the Extreme Defense bullet. 1,800 feet a second, it says on here. I got 1,650 in the test. Look, I only shot 4 or 5 rounds, maybe 6 rounds through it, but it's 200 grains short, 200 feet a second short. I think that this was run through a 16-inch rifle. And I bet you if I shoot that through my lever action rifle, it'll hit 1,800. Look, don't get me wrong. Those bullets are not soft. That load is not soft. In the video, all I do is complain about the recoil in it.
You need a massage after. That's a big bullet.
So the case in point really is that you should test it in your gun to make sure everything is all good.
Right.
By the way, if you have a revolver, you have to make sure that you clean the insides of your cylinders. In your semi-auto, you got to take the barrel out and make sure that you don't have any crud on there. You don't have any carbon buildup, anything like that would cause a misfeed. Again, this is the type of thing that you're going to use when everything is horrible. So you have to take out all of the points of failure equation by making sure that things are at the very Guns malfunction most of the time because they're
Yeah.
lack of oil and dirty.
I think what most people put into the back of their mind and oftentimes forget about, and I'm guilty of it, is that you buy a gun and a gun has a purpose, right? It's self-defense. It's defense while you're out there in the wild hunting or what have you. And once you have that gun and then you move over to the mindset of now the need is ammunition, a lot of things go out the door. Don't necessarily take into account exactly the goal of why you purchased the firearm is at the door. Now, you've got your everyday shooters that some people just like to go out there. They just like to blast as many rounds as they can, go down to the range, and that's what they need it for. But from a hunting perspective, you got to keep in mind that the reason why you have a sidearm, whether it be a wheel gun or a semi-auto like a Glock or something like that, is because it's for your own protection. And two, the math doesn't necessarily add up when you're in the moment at the store. I'm purchasing this gun for the purpose of protection, of keeping myself safe in a hunting situation where there's a mountain lion or a bear. And that's something that we can't forget. And again, I'm guilty of, because I can guarantee you that I've got a couple handguns that I'll carry with me, one at a time, obviously, when I'm out there, wherever I'm at. And I probably do not have the ammo that matches the purpose of taking something down and something specific down, given the need.
And I hope that this conversation, I don't think you're the only person.
I can guarantee you I'm not the only person.
So I hope that this conversation opens up people's eyes.
It does.
Truthfully, through last year, I really didn't consider the ammo on my sidearm as that important. I've always loaded up these Barnes bullets in my 45 Colt hot, and I felt that was good enough. But we went to Alaska, and that's what I had as my load. I had a 454 Casull, and I think it was a 454 Casull and a 45 Colt. That's what I carried. My dad carried the Casull. But in retrospect, that was, by the way, the funny thing was, I think my dad carried his gun in the backpack. Fucking useless for personal, for self-defense. So to your point, you get your gun and you're saying, hey, I'm getting this gun for backup for hunting. Great. Now you need the ammo, and you also need a proper way to carry it. Yeah. Right. So depending on how you want to carry it, a chest holster like what we did in the last episode, or if the gun is small and you want to carry it on your hip, so be it. So those are your considerations for that purpose.
And my new frame of mind, right? And I say new frame of mind because honestly, before this conversation, I haven't really necessarily thought about it. So I've got all kinds of ideas firing in my head. But the importance of this, as I see, is that if you have the right ammo for the right situation, you're going to obviously be put into the best case scenario for yourself, right?
Yeah, 100%.
If you've got something that isn't the right ammo, say for example, and I'm just using it as an example because I think it's the easiest to envision, you're in Alaska and you're thinking grizzly bears, right? Those things are freaking beasts. So if you have something that's loaded in your gun and you're thinking like, oh, one shot's going to work. Well, if you don't have the right ammo, that one shot is not going to work.
No.
And you're going to need 3 or 4 shots in order to have the same damage or have the same stopping power as if you just had the right ammo with one shot.
100%.
And that takes into account to what you were talking about in regard to what you're trying to take a look at now is the follow-up shot, because your first shot might be there, but it's likely you're not just going to fire one shot. You're going to need 2, 3, 4 shots
To kill him, sure. To kill a big bear, sure. I think that, look, if I shoot him once and he drops dead and dies on the spot, cool, no problem. But if it doesn't get done by the 3rd or 4th, then problem, because probably not going to have time to reload.
But that's where the ammo comes in too, though, right? That's the importance of
100%. And the caliber, right? So I think that I'm trying to load the 45 long Colt to be in a Ruger Red Hawk, which is a very strong gun, to be on the low spectrum of what a 44 Magnum Ballistics will be. So my goal is to get all of the dangerous game performance to be able to break a scapula type bone and still penetrate 20 inches of gel. That would be what I would consider sufficient power, diameter, and penetration. And this is the hard caveat. Let's do that with manageable recoil, because I haven't found that yet in the things on the table here yet. So that's my challenge for this year, is to come up with a 357 Magnum that performs like that, a 44 Magnum that performs like that, the 10 mil, and the 45 ACP. I really worry about the autoloaders being too hot, because I have broken the extractor on my 1911 more than once.
Too hot in the sense of you're going to need some more power, and because you have more susceptibility to problems with the firearm
to
itself.
Breaking the gun. In the revolver, it's hard to break a revolver. You can break them, but it's hard. The semi-autos, they're very complex. There's a lot of moving parts in them, right? The Glock being the simplest. I think their total Glock parts is 27 parts total in that gun. But you don't need to break a bunch of parts. You just need to strip the extractor, and then you're done. You got a problem.
So talking about the points of failure, you got way more points of failure than a revolver.
So it isn't like most of your problems are not solved by just capacity. You have to weigh a few different things, right? So there's an interesting conversation online with the owner of Buffalo Bore, and he says that his plus P 45s have more lethality than the 10 millimeters, because the caliber's bigger. Even though the velocity is a little slower, but the caliber's bigger and it's fast enough to do the job. And the bullets are a little heavier for the load, because in the 10 millimeter, I think they drop down to 180 grain. So I think he loads his 10 millimeters to a 200 with a 200 grain bullet. Anyway, kind of go in the weeds a little bit on this, but the point being that my criteria for the optimal load performance is going to be repeatability on the shot, so accuracy from shot to shot, so a low time to get back on target, 20 inches of penetration after hitting the scapula, and having a low muzzle flash gunpowder. And then eventually, once I find the perfect load, then the perfect cartridge is going to be to have it waterproofed, to be watertight. So the water test, I'm going to dump it in a pail of water and leave it in there for an hour and then shoot it. So you see the blue stuff on this primer, that's the sealant membrane on the primer itself. That makes it waterproof. These HydroShocks, they've been around for a long time. They got it all sorted out. So I'm getting all the attributes of all the things that I like, factory ammo, and then trying to get it into what I consider the perfect dangerous game self-defense cartridge. That's my goal.
Nice. So in essence, I've learned more from this show, and hopefully our audience has learned more from this show as well in regard to ammo and its relationship to what the purpose of your gun is and what the purpose of your ammo is. And I appreciate all the stuff, all the knowledge that you've dropped here. And I'm sure we've got a lot more to look forward to coming up in 2026. I know we've got a lot of wheel gun reels. We got a lot of reviews. So where are we taking this next?
I think the logical step is going to be test some of the commercially available ammo, create some content around what my thoughts are, what's been performing good, what I don't like. And then my ongoing journey to take all of the attributes that I like about the different manufacturers and then come up with the perfect load for each caliber. So 357 10 millimeter, 45 ACP, and 44 Magnum, and my favorite caliber, which is the 45 Long Colt. And we're definitely going to be playing with the big bore stuff with the 500 and the 454 Casull, just because, well, big bangers are a lot of fun.
That's what she said.
They really are. I love shooting them.
This show tonight's going to have a bunch of different ratings just based off of our vocabulary, penetration, big bangers, all kinds of stuff. But Langosta, this has been a great episode. And, 2026, there's nothing like bringing in the new year. Your family's in town again.
Randy, man, I can't get rid of the damn family. It's I thought he was gone. I thought he went back home. But we'll let him out of the green room and see what he says.
Oh, here we go with Cousin Randy. It seems like Cousin Randy is here. And ladies and gentlemen, listeners, subscribers, thank you very much. A big mahalo for listening and tuning in to Rifles, Rods, and Broads. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube, as well as our Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff. Thank you again for tuning in here to Rifles, Rods, and Broads, JoJo and Langosta. Trying to bring you guys some new content here in 2026. We're lining up some guests. We're going to talk about more fishing. And obviously, in the beginning of the episode, I've got my new metas. So I'll be out there in the surf coming up soon and checking out some of that surf fishing action, some of the things that are going around here in Southern California. And Brian, what else we got coming up, man?
Man, we just had that graphic here on the screen, man. We're so close to getting 500 subscribers
So
finally
close.
on our YouTube. So, guys, don't forget to like and share with your friends if you like this sort of content. And, man, I really like your meta glasses, dude. I'm really looking
You
forward
like those?
to
I'll put them back on, man.
To all your surf fishing this spring.
Surf fishing, all the POV stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a call or something. I'll definitely meet you out there. I definitely, want to
Look
get
at
my
that.
feet wet.
There's a more sophisticated JoJo right there.
Whoa. This is the point, Dexter.
Oh, man, they put a dent in the pocket. But we do have a special guest in the studio. Langosta's family's in the house. Cousin Randy. How's it?
Randy here, boys and girls.
Where the hell you been, bro?
I've been shooting up a storm in the lobby. Shooting shit in the lobby. What's going on, JoJo? Happy New Year, buddy.
Oh, Happy New Year. How you been, man?
Man, I'm good, but I'm worried about my taxes.
How's that time's coming up. You got a couple more months left to really decide whether or not you really have to worry or not worry.
Well, no, not in Ecuador. In Ecuador, you got to pay taxes at the end of the year.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, we got any mail out here, Brian? Give me the mail out here, man, Brian.
Right there.
In the secret compartment?
Look at that. Right there for you, man.
We're flying the flag here, kids. All right. Woo, baby. All right. So this week's Mullet Mail. And by the way, if you haven't sent your message to Mullet Mail at Rifles, Rods, and Broads, please make sure you do so you too can be featured in this very illustrious episode. All right. The letter reads, Randy, Captain Ahab here. I'm writing to you to tell you about a time when I went fishing with my buddy Jim. He told me a gear guy. He's a total gear guy, excuse me. He has the best rods, newest lures, and pristine small aluminum boat. One Saturday, he invited me to a quiet lake. How long is this story going to go on? This is unbelievable.
Hey, it's
guys,
Captain Ahab, so it might be a long book.
Guys, this is a dissertation over here. We
Chapter
can't-
1.
Holy smokes. One Saturday, he invited me out to a quiet lake where he was so excited to show off his new 9.9 horsepower outboard motor, which he had spent on the previous meticulous night cleaning. We backed into the trailer, into the water, and he primed it up, pulled the starter cord, and the engine purred to life instantly. Dude, this is a novel here from what's going on here? Brian, are you screening these things here? Watch this. He gripped the tiller handle and gave it a confident, sharp twist of the throttle. In his excitement, Jim had forgotten to tighten the mounting clamps on the transom. As soon as the propeller bit into the water, the engine climbed up back on the boat. It's safe to say he didn't go fishing that day. Captain Ahab here says, land ho to all my buddies at the Big Game Fishing Game Club in Houston, Texas.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know Houston had a lake that big.
How do you dissect that?
Captain Ahab, perhaps you should consider yourself getting a quad and staying on land. Apparently, the water doesn't agree with you very much. Joe, you're a fisherman. Would you get on a boat with a captain like that?
I don't know. Ahab, no. With the name Ahab, and if he's talking about the torso and the 9.9, whatever the hell he was trying to describe, I don't know what the hell that guy's trying to talk about.
I'm not exactly sure what happened here.
Yeah, me neither. Lost in translation.
I'm going to have to check my underwear and make sure everything's okay. I'm not sure what happened.
So do we know the outcome? What's the advice?
Stay on land. The boat ain't for you. Get yourself an inflatable boat and a rubber ducky.
I think that's pretty smart. Buy a quad, stay on land, Ahab, get off the water.
Get on that water. And by the way, for those of you on there that may know an Ahab, don't get on the boat with an Ahab. It's probably not a good idea. I wouldn't. Even
You might end up in rehab.
I would not sit behind them on the quad either.
Yeah.
Just it's one of those things that you want the disaster to observe it from a distance and not be part of the disaster.
But, Captain Ahab, thank you for sending us some mullet mail at riflesrodsandbroads.com. Don't forget to check out our website.
riflesrodsandbroads.com.
And Cousin Randy, nice to see you here in 2026.
For those of you curious on the Randy scenarios for 2026,
What do we got?
I have found me a little chickadoodle. She's an outdoor girl. Yep. I caught her fresh while she wasn't paying attention. And I did
in Ecuador or what?
Neighboring country, Venezuela. I was in Venezuela recently.
I hear they're fresh for the taking.
Well, Venezuela, they're a lot easier to catch. How about that? I'm not that quick on my feet, but I'm quick with my hands.
Oh, boy. In new news.
So yeah, I got a little chickadoodle. Got a little chickadoodle in the thing. We're shopping for double wides right now. And I may even get a building permit or something like that. We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
But love is in the air, JoJo. Love is in the air.
Hey, it's January. February's coming up. I hope you and your chickadoodle from Venezuela are going to be joining us between now and February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's nothing like the love day. She has a little bit of a limp, but I don't hold it against her because it's partially how I caught her. So you'll see more of her. You'll see more of her on the show.
Well, Cousin Randy, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate you reading the mullet mail that came from Captain Ahab that I don't think anybody's going to really understand. It was a lot of words, so word to the wise, if you are sending us mullet mail, get straight to the point because Cousin Randy doesn't want to fuck around and read multiple chapters. But thank you very much for joining us.
Do not send Randy a goddamn dissertation, okay? Just make it quick. Give me questions. I got an answer. Give me a question. I need a question. This, a lot of detail, no questions. So, the advice is limited by the lack of questions.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again, Cousin Randy. Really appreciate you coming down. And again, mullet mail at riflesrodsandbroads.com. Make sure you guys check us out as we get Langosta back in here and Cousin Randy and his chickadoodle with the limp from Venezuela kind of hangs out there in the lobby. Just want to again say thank you very much for all of our listeners here. It is 2026 and we are bringing in the new year, and one of our goals, one of our resolutions, one of our one of the things that we're striving for again is 500 subscribers. We are just a few away, and I can tell you what, on the night that we get those 500 subscribers, there's going to be shots going around. I think the Jameson's going to be chilled, and we'll be taking shots with you right here on Rifles, Rods, and Broads. 487 is the current count, and you can help us get there. In 2026, we are expecting more guests from the fishing world here in Southern California, the hunting world. There's a lot of people out there that are doing hunting and fishing, and we'll be talking story with them throughout the year. So thank you guys very much for subscribing, and we welcome all of our new subscribers. Langosta, Cousin Randy, man, where are they staying? Are they at your place?
I don't know, but I hope she's on birth control because it's got a little heavy in the lobby over there. That kid will come out with a limp, too.
Hey, that limp's throwing off the rhythm for him, bro.
I think that's how he caught her. Honestly, I think she wasn't paying attention too much. And, it's like one of those things you're just not paying attention. You get boondoggled. Anyway, so, JoJo, we should have a listener party at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club.
I think we should have that.
Our anniversary is coming up. I think come February, March, it's going to be 2 years.
2 years.
Holy smokes.
February, March? What is our exact date? We'll have to figure that out.
We'll look it up. But it's either March or April.
Yeah.
But it's definitely at the beginning of the year.
And I can tell you what, there's a listener party at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club every Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, where you come in with your stories and we get to listen to the insanity. All right. Well, JoJo, excited
Wrapping
to
it up.
get the year going. We got our first episode in the books.
We do.
Let's bring an end to the beautiful episode.
Hey, thank you very much for sharing all this knowledge. If you need more, just feel free to hit us up and we'll answer any of your questions. Langosta, JoJo, out of here. Welcome in 2026. Aloha.